Hey, Tom.
How you doing? Doing great.
Tom? Oh. Hey, Tom, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
I don't know if you got notified, but Michelle Fitzpatrick's been replaced by Brae Rafferty as the representative of this task force, effective this past Monday.
Yeah, she did send me an email.
Okay.
I think Monday or Tuesday. Do you know, is Brae going to be attending?
I do not know if he was told that there was a meeting, but he did not confirm that because it's kind of short term here.
Okay. Well, he's been getting the notifications right along. I just was wondering because I know that I was hoping that he would be able to speak on behalf of the Conservation Commission to talk about their initiative for a trail guide.
I'm on the commission. I can address that for you if you want me to talk.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Okay, great.
But Brae is the actual guy that's doing that. We've got three different teams set up now, and Brae's responsible for that one. But he did give us an update at the Monday meeting. I can pass that along to everyone.
Okay, it does actually look like he's on, so
okay.
Whoever wants to do it, that'd be great.
No, it should be Brae.
Okay.
I hear you.
Hi, Sydney.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm well, except for some poison ivy from the Haley Farm walls.
Oh, well, that's too bad.
That's all right, but the walls look beautiful.
What do you use to get rid of the poison ivy?
Well, you carry your watch around your neck because you don't want to have the strap on the poison ivy.
Oh, okay.
And then you start covering up your arms when it spreads to other places.
Okay.
And basically you start saying, I don't think I want to do walls of trees with poison ivy. I see.
Good afternoon.
Joan up there?
I'm
yes.
here. Yeah.
Hi, Joan.
Hello.
Joe.
Tom, he's been doing the poison ivy wall too.
Oh.
Is yours B?
Yeah.
Yeah, my camera, let me see if I can find my camera. Where is it? Huh. Oops.
Are you on an iPad?
No, I'm on my, I've never had to do this before with my other meetings.
It's usually on an iPad, it's on the top. I don't know, on another, it might be at the bottom, but tap the screen and you get a whole row of icons. And you'll see something that looks like a camera.
Yeah, usually on the bottom, there I am. It was just a little slow. It's my computer,
Okay.
I think.
Mark?
Yes.
Joan and I have a board of directors meeting Zoom at 5.
Okay. I'm suspecting we'll be off by then.
And I don't know who else is pictured up there.
Yeah.
About a voice.
So I did talk to Joellen earlier today, and she was planning to attend the meeting. I think I didn't hear from anybody else, so I'm not sure who else is going to be participating.
I'm on my phone.
Oh, there you are. Okay, great.
Okay,
I think we lost. Oh no, there's Brae. Okay. Bruce. Okay, good.
okay.
All right. It looks like we might have lost somebody. We lost B. All right. Well, hopefully she'll rejoin us. So thank you all for zooming in on this meeting. It's been a while since we met, and I know we were supposed to meet last week, and it was my fault. It just completely fell off the radar, and I didn't have time to pull it together. So I thought, well, we'll just push it back a week, and I think that will work out fine. So first item on the agenda is citizens' petitions, comments, and concerns. All right, so that's easy. Next is approval of the minutes. So you all should have received a copy of the minutes. I know it was back in September, but hopefully we captured everything that was discussed at that meeting. I would need somebody to make a motion to approve the minutes and somebody to second it.
Okay, I was not here.
Okay. Sydney, were you?
I was not here, but I'd approve them.
No.
All right, how about Joellen? How about Joellen?
Sorry, I didn't read them before this meeting, and it's been a long time, but I'll second.
Okay.
You gotta
All right.
read them.
All right.
Okay, was there and who read the minutes?
Well, B was there.
I was there, but I'm staff. I don't know if I can make a motion to approve them.
Yeah, you don't count, Bruce.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Sorry. All right. Well, we'll go with Sydney and Joellen.
Okay.
We're on the hook, Sydney.
Yep, yep. A lot of stuff
You
went
better
on.
keep-
I better read it.
Yeah, usually you're calling me, telling me I missed something.
Yeah, right.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Correspondence and communications. Reports. Let's start with Avalonia.
Okay, briefly, Bonnie Castellini recently became the new Groton Town Committee Chair for Avalonia when Janet Anderson stepped down. Groton property boundary walks and conservation easement reviews are nearing completion for 2020. The Leo Antonino Preserve on Antonino Drive has had its boundary lines clarified by a surveyor. It is trailed, and it has been trailed for, I guess, a few years, but no trail map has been prepared yet. Conservation easement was prepared by the owners of 100 Susan Lane, which is off Warren Avenue, in favor of both Gene Pearson and Avalonia. That will allow various utility accesses for Gene Pearson and a butter access to the easterly property line of Avalonia's Town's End property. Avalonia recently received 3 separate grants totaling $59,000. Whoops, my screen went off. Totaling $59,644. $1,000 is being used to purchase a self-propelled DR-style mower for trail clearing, and $57,144 was received from the Long Island Futures Fund recently, and will be used, Sydney, will be used for various aspects of restoring the Hoffman Evergreen Nature Preserve on Route 201 in Stonington.
Wonderful.
Elsewhere, the parking lot at 177 Christie Hill is being created to provide safe parking for the Barrett Preserve trails, and other property transfers are in progress but not completed yet. There was a ribbon cutting recently for the Dutka property in Griswold, and this particular property has public access to Patchogue Pond. End.
Okay.
Man,
So Ellen, can you send that to me? Because I
Yeah.
can't write as fast as you talk.
Well, I need to clean it up a little bit, but I will
Okay.
send it to you. Those are
Wonderful.
Word
Okay.
format.
then send a copy. Send me a copy. Whatever
Okay.
you send to Mark, I'd like a copy.
Oh, okay.
Is that
All
going
right.
to go for all towns, for all organizations?
Well, we usually keep it to what's happening in Groton.
I know. Do you want me to remove the,
No, it's good
The
to
oth-
have it's good to have the rest of it because, used to be we were all single units, but among other things, we have watersheds that run down from us through to other places. So it's we're gathering together to pass the news of what's going on, and
Right.
I'd like to hear what's going on.
Okay.
I agree,
right.
Sydney, to know what's going on too around town,
Yeah.
towns.
Next is the cop property. There's not really much to report other than the park staff. This is the time of year when they start to go around and clear all the trails. And I know they'll be, if they haven't got to the cop property yet, they will be. And we're still using board members to check on the cop property monthly. And they submit a report to me, which is a great help because as you know, at the cop property, there's quite a few trails. And when somebody says, oh, there's a tree down on the trail, that could mean walking all of the trails trying to find the tree. But with the report, we get more specific details and there's not as much lost time trying to find a tree or whatever. So that's what's happening at the cop property. The Crosstown Trail, I got a phone call today from Rick Norris, who works for the town, and he is kind of the town's liaison to all of the school projects that are taking place. And he called me to say that the Permanent School Building Committee has the letter that I submitted to them requesting that they consider installing a bridge across Fishtown Brook as part of the school project. And Rick said that it is on their list. It would only be approved if the budget for building the school doesn't go over, and they do have a list of items that they intend to, or they're hopeful to be able to get done outside of what was already planned for the school. And Rick said that was on the list, and I have sent him the plan details, the construction details, and he was actually going to talk to the contractor to see if perhaps the contractor could do the work. And since he's already on site, and that may save us some money. So it's going to be probably 3 or 4 months before they have a better picture of the finances of the school. But I was encouraged that it's at least on their radar, because I had written a letter to them a year ago requesting that they consider this project as part of the school and the new school. And I never heard anything back, but apparently they did receive it and it is on their radar. So encouraged by that.
Mark,
Yes.
could I add just two things? One, we should figure out whether it's a Fishtown Brook or McGuire Brook, because if you're up where the Pequot Woods is, that sign I think says McGuire Brook, and then others call it Fishtown Brook. I think
Okay.
Fishtown Brook is really good if we had to make a decision as to which one. But also it had seemed that Joan and I, Gosa, was trying to check on getting grants for Greenbelt to help in the process of maybe funding that bridge. Had
Oh,
you-
that'd be wonderful.
But had you heard, I mean, that I think was in the works 2 years ago, Joan?
No, it was Mark who applied for the Greenbelt, and he was told that the town had to join the organization, and then I don't think you reapplied, did you, Mark?
No, we didn't apply last year. I didn't even see an announcement that they were accepting applications.
They didn't
last
have
year?
any money this year.
Yeah,
We applied for something else and they didn't have the money.
yeah.
Okay.
Sydney, what was the other name of Fishtown Brook, you said?
McGuire Brook.
Yeah, I think it's Fishtown that goes behind the school.
Okay,
But it just, but if you go north of it to Pequot Woods, I think it says McGuire. So that's, we just have to clarify what we're going to call this.
okay.
Can I add something? I think if you go on a topo map that's prepared by the United States Geographical System, that that might reflect the correct name according to that organization. And I think we should use that.
Okay, we can check on that.
And needless to say, we didn't have the Crosstown Trail this year because of COVID.
Right, yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to have it this spring, or this year.
And also the wording that we had so that it would be different, X dash capital T for town trail. The Conservation Commission has just put out a very fine, fairly thick study. And I asked them to correct it in that study to be X dash capital T for town instead of just a lot of little letters running along for Crosstown, that it was a name like Smith or Brown or.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right. Let's see. Groton open space.
Oh, okay. When you're speaking of trails, I got a call yesterday from Steve Fagan, and he's going to write an article in this week's paper. He hiked from the Mortimer Right to the through Merritt, through Sheep Farm South to the sheep farm, and he's going to write an article about the green belts. So I thought that would be a nice tie-in.
Oh, good.
As far as trails go, we collaborated with Tri-Town Trail. Tom Olson's been working with them regularly, and we had our stewardship person and our botanist go. We walked the property, the Preston part, to discuss basically what's been working for us and techniques, and Whitney identified plants to save or cut. Just want to report that there's been quite a bit of collaboration among different trail people. We've also had a record number of visitors because of COVID, and I think you've seen that at the town properties, state properties as well. And we've had an increase in members. We've had an increase in people showing up for our work parties. Every week we have about 12 people show up for each work party. Plus we have smaller work parties in between. So everything is not bad. The pandemic has really brought attention to how important these green belts are. So I think we should continue to build on that. And hopefully the appreciation by the public will be maintained even when they have other things they can do. So, and on our Sheep Farm South, we're pretty close. We're doing paperwork with the state. They're looking at every single item in our survey and every single item in our title search. And when we get that hammered out, then it goes to the Attorney General, and after the Attorney General has made his corrections, then it's at least 60 days till we get the money. So hopefully early this year, we'll be able to finally close on the deal. And I think that's it. The trails all look good because we've had so many workers. So, okay.
What's the total on the Sheep Farm South, Joan? Do you know?
Total what? Acres?
No, money.
Money. The total, the purchase price is $1 million. You know, plus we've had about another $60,000 in expenses for surveys, all of that. So that's about it.
That's a lot.
It is, yeah. And the funding is hard this year. We couldn't have a gala. The state did not give out. We only got 60%, but we could qualify for up to 75%. So it's been a hard year for fundraising.
That's for sure.
All right.
I could also add that along mentioning my poison ivy before, that there were two sessions of stewardship sessions over at the Haley Farm at the about the second stone wall. Down at the bottom, there's a nice picnic table, and it goes up and over the hill, and it's one of the tall stone walls. And we had 15 people the first day and about almost 20 the second day. And there was a group of trees that were just solid invasives. And so if you go over there, it's just really, it really is really great. And the fellow one of the rangers who worked for the state, Eric Hansen, he just loves that place. And he started cutting down all the fields, tall grasses in the fields. And so hopefully in a short while all of the fields will be cut, and he particularly goes along the edges of the walls. So we have a good team going over there, and the number of people that tell stories about how wonderful the Haley Farm is, and in the Noank Historical Society, they took a letter that Priscilla Pratt and I wrote many years ago about the Haley Farm, and it's like 3 or 4 pages of what we went through in order to save it and the battles we had to fight. But one of the things that it didn't say, and that we've got to put in our website, is that the $50,000 that we raised back in 1970, we had like 2 months to come up with a final amount, is equivalent to $350,000 now. So these were bake sales and spaghetti suppers and kids going out and doing car washes and stuff. And it was just, it really is quite neat. So if Noank Historical Society, if you plug into their, it's called a ledger, and it's the fall issue. It's really kind of neat to get that history, which was going on before many of the people in this audience were even born.
All right. Thank you.
That's
Susan.
only Andre.
Yeah. All right. Town trails. So as you know, as part of the merit property swap, the town had to come up with a couple of open spaces to mitigate the loss of the merit property. And one of those properties was the King Kolnaski Conservation Area, which is behind the Kolnaski School off of Pequannock Road. And so there are a group of volunteers that have laid out a trail that starts from the parking lot right just past the entrance to the Kolnaski School. It's on the right-hand side. There's a small parking lot just before you get into the larger parking lot that is all fenced in. And that Electric Boat has designated that space as parking for access to that conservation area. So the trail does not exist now. All it is a series of pink ribbons. I have walked out there a couple of times with the group, and there are some kind of unique features along that trail. There's some really large rock outcroppings. There's a stream with some small waterfalls, and this winter, the park staff is going to be removing, clearing that trail. And eventually it's going to go from that small parking lot out behind the Kolnaski School and actually connect up with an existing trail behind the Kolnaski School that I believe was developed in part by one of the teachers there and a group of students. I want to say his last name is Moon, but I don't
Moon.
think that's it.
Ben
What is
Moon.
it?
Ben Moon.
Moon, yes. So
He was working with GOSA with some of his classmates. Students.
okay, yeah. So this trail that's being cut will connect with that trail, and eventually it will be an entire mile going from the parking lot, the EV parking lot, all the way around behind the school and back down towards Pequannock Road.
On the other side of the road, the trail for Birch Plain Creek, does that butt into that Kolnaski parking?
Right now, there are plans to try to make connections to some of the local communities nearby, but right now, we're focused on just kind of finishing that trail that partially exists.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's some exciting news. So we'll be adding some more trails to the town's inventory, hopefully by spring. That will be all set. I don't know, I think we lost Dee.
I saw her. She's an attendee in there, but we might want to promote her to panelist.
Oh, okay.
She's the green telephone.
Oh, yep.
You can hear her. Okay.
Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not sure. I was on Zoom just a couple of days ago and today it's not working. So please
Okay.
you can hear me. So one of the big things that happened for Tri-Town Trails is because we don't own property, we're working on mostly town-owned property. And we've just been assigned to be under Park and Rec in Ledyard, which was a huge, a huge plus for us because before a lot of the other commissions didn't quite know what to do with us, but Park and Rec made more sense. So we're on Park and Rec. And in the last 3 months, besides the trail opening up at the north end, they have permission from the town to explore the south end, which is probably another 50 or 75 acres or 3/4 of a mile of more trail. So we're hoping in 3 months or 4 months, we should have a trail that would be 2 miles long or a 4 mile, almost a 4 mile loop with 2 parking access areas. So that's pretty exciting. And the southern part ends up having some Spicer family ruins from early 1700s, an old well. And so we're very excited that, plus it's a very pristine forest with 100-year-old trees. The trees are mammoth. One of them I measured was 9-foot circumference. So they're really just very old, majestic trees. So it's an exciting portion that we'll be adding to the trail. And the other thing is that we've had some interesting visitors beside GOSA, who came out twice and wants to sort of help us figure out how to clear and where to clear and identify different species of plants and invasives. But we also had hydrologists from Connecticut College who helped to look at our wetlands and our water crossings. And he's writing a report for us just because he's interested in it and lives in Ledyard. We have an archaeologist, Jason Mancini, who you probably remember from the Mashantucket Pequot Museum. He was the director there. And he came out and helped us identify ruins, and he's also a biologist. So he identified a lot of our trees out there. So it's been a really exciting kind of last 6 weeks. So at this point, we're moving forward with a lot of trail building, getting permission from wetlands to do crossings of 4 bridge areas. There'll be small bridges or boardwalks, but we still have to go through wetlands to get additional permitting. And there's a question around wetlands permitting that's always questionable. So we're having to submit actual plans. So that will hopefully have those in place by February, maybe do some building of boardwalks. So by spring or summer, you know, the bridges will be in place and our trail will be well established. So it's been several months of lots of really good things happening. So we're pretty excited after years of not much movement. So that's basically my report. I don't know if Tom Olson is on.
He is.
He might.
I have nothing to add to your report.
Great.
Okay. So next, new business, the Conservation Commission Trail Guide Project. And Brae, I'm going to ask you to kind of explain what the Conservation Commission is thinking, because you have more details about this than I do.
The Conservation Commission has finished its new open space plan, and for Sydney's benefit, the cross-town trail has been changed, and her suggestions have been incorporated into the final plan. So you're all set, Sydney, on that.
Oh, good.
The Trail Guide project is one where, from my perspective, is picking up from the town's websites, website showing the maps that have trails on them within the town, is taking it to the next level. Perhaps having in the digital format, on one side, the map with all the trails, and on the other side, having some little history perhaps about the trail, other interesting facts about that particular one. So instead of just looking at a map and you just see the variety of different options that are available within the town, but also there might be something a little bit more to go along with it. And so it's been dropped into my lap to be a representative here to the Tri-Town task force. And what I'm here for today is to say a little bit of input on what that future trail map might look like. What are people's wants, desires, perhaps, if you take it to the next step. So Tom Olson, if he's still with us, if he wants to add anything, that would be good.
And the only thing I would be adding is that as the Conservation Commission, we will have our own portion of with the new town website that's coming up. It's being established right now. And in that, we envision, we're still putting it all together, but right now we've put a draft together to indicate that we'll have different sections from our open space conservation plan will be explained both in a hard copy version as well as a online, as well as a video that'll go into different aspects for whether it be for the greenways, for the value of open space. So we're trying to really, and then to make this more of an outreach process through the Conservation Commission. And then one of the products that would be, you know, what we kind of envision is having a hard copy in addition to the online presence, but also people like to have paper sometimes to have so when they're out exploring the different places that we'd have that available. And I think that's the part that Brae's, you know, it's going to be a portion of a bigger project that we're doing here. And Brae's got the lead on the mapping part, and that's to be coordinated through the Trails Task Force here. Thank you.
All right, any thoughts from Avalonia and Groton Open Space?
Well, GOSA has made comments to the commission for, and I guess the letter that I wrote, all I could do was say so many thank yous, because after all the years of fighting the battles of wetlands or wastelands and where are you going to dump it? There isn't a way. You just throw it in the water, and now we have sewers that work, and all the various things that we've been working on for 50 years are now pulled together in this Conservation Commission report, and it's just so refreshing the amount of work that they have gone through to put it together. It's very rewarding, and I can't thank you enough.
I support what Sydney says. It really, you've brought this whole thing to a whole new level of the whole conservation report, the mapping, everything. It's terrific.
Wonderful
To-
job.
so specific to
Unbelievable.
Brae's particular project, what are
Oh,
your
that,
thoughts?
on that,
Yes.
that's a
Yeah,
great,
yeah.
that'll add even more depth and interest. I think it's great to, we can sit down and work with you, or you can pick it off our website, depending on what your needs are. But we'd be glad to help, with our properties, to help with the narrative.
That would be great. And I'm sure Avalonia will do the same.
Jump in.
She will.
There's already some on the bulletin board up at Capstan for the Moore Woodlands about the history of the Moore Woodlands. I'll try to find that and forward it, Brae.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's that kind of information on the history, just a single paragraph or something a little bit longer or less. It's the high points of the history of each individual property. So what makes one unique over another, and hopefully it's an interest point to draw people into the hike. So looking to the future, we're trying to make it so whether it's the conservation website or the Town of Groton's website through Parks and Rec with the maps, that we both have the same maps available for anybody. And thinking of taking it to
Yeah, you want to see.
level where you can print out both sides, so forth, to add to that.
Ray,
Yes.
on GOSA's website, if you go on gosaonline.org, go to properties.
Yep.
And then you can click on all of the various properties that GOSA has, and it also has a map there that has the trails on it. And so this has history, and it has the maps and the trails. And so we would be more than happy to work with the Conservation Commission and Mark, if there's an overall town source for the maps rather than 3 sources or 4.
Well, we're hoping out of this is not to have your source, well, to have multiple sources, but having the same maps on each source.
Okay.
So that wherever you go, you're pulling up the same maps and the same verbiage that's on there to support it.
Okay.
Do you plan to standardize it so that they all have the same format and
Yes.
keys and that sort of thing? Okay.
Yep.
That would be great.
May I ask a question? This is Joan.
Sure.
You know, a few years back, before when this fellow Bowen was IT person, he produced a variety of maps for both GOSA and Avalonia, I believed, and there was a standard format, and those maps are still available on the Parks and Rec site. And I look at them frequently and think, what a nice job he did. I don't know if anybody's looked at them frequently. I don't know if there's any other information people want to add to those maps, but they had the topo on there and who the trail belonged to, and on it went. But I thought they were great maps. Do you remember them, either Sydney or Joan?
I don't.
Well, we have Jenna at the town hall has been working with us for the last few properties, and she is terrific. She will sit down with you and click through all the different layers and drawing the trail or whatever we want. If we want to import digital data such as tracking when someone hikes through there, she does all of that. So that's what we've been using. Jenna has basically made our maps, so all of the information is in the town database. And she
I
can,
think
then,
the
if you
original
wanted to
maps were-
change it. Yeah, if.
I think
if
the
they
original
were-
maps were made by the previous fellow in IT, and I thought he had made some for Groton Open Space also.
Yeah, no, it's just Jenna's the one I've worked with, maybe our old ones, but they've been updated by Jenna. So, yeah, she
Well,
uses the
the same
modern
one.
labor. Yeah,
So I do believe in standardization, and there's no reason for 3 different people to be producing 3 different style of maps. So I think if there were concurrence, it would be a real help.
Yep, definitely. All right, so Brae, do you feel comfortable with this discussion, and is there anything else that you want to share, or what's the next steps for everybody?
I think the next step right now is to take a look at to see what the resources are, especially verbiage on the maps, because I know in the town, Conservation Commission over the years and the Trails Day in June when we've done walks, and usually I've led them for the Conservation Commission. We had the trail map to share with folks to say this is where we're going to go today. But as far as a little bit of history about the property and so forth, as you're walking along, you want to add something to it. The town really didn't have that. So I had to look for a variety of sources to come up with something during that walk. So what I'm hoping for is to pick people's brains on what might be good ideas for putting down on properties that makes it unique on that particular property. They may know something about the history there that's not written down necessarily anywhere else. So I would say the next process is to pull together what we already have now, and I guess I'll be doing that, and then sharing it with, let's say, the next task force meeting, and for people to see how we're doing.
All right, I'll see what I can do for the town. I know Sydney has sent me some information about the Phoebe Pond and I think a couple of other places. So I will pull that out and see what other information I can dig out and share with you. I do have some news to tell everybody, and it's sad news. Jenna her last day is tomorrow. She's accepted the position as GIS director in Glastonbury. Right now, she commutes over an hour to work, and she has 2 young children. And this is a great opportunity for her. I guess Glastonbury does not have the GIS program that we have here in Groton. And so this is an opportunity for her to almost build an entire department the way she wants to see it done. So I just found this out 2 days ago. So like you, I was extremely disappointed, but also excited for her because this is a great opportunity, and thanked her for the tremendous work that she's done for all of our organizations over the last. She's been here 6 years. I couldn't believe it.
Terrific.
So yeah, and she will be doing some part-time work. The town has posted the position, so they are looking for somebody to replace her. But you know, she did a wonderful job and was great to work with. And so anyway, she will be missed. All right, the last thing on the agenda for today was the 2021 meeting dates. And we meet quarterly, and I think that works well for everybody.
Yes.
So the dates that I'm proposing are March 18th, June 17th, September 16th, and December 12th. And those are all on Thursdays. I think meeting at 4 o'clock, if that continues to work for everybody, I think that would be that seems to be a good time. Does anybody have any objections to those dates?
No.
If
No,
we
that
Zoom
sounds
it,
good.
Okay,
Sounds good.
if we
Yep.
Zoom it, then we can then go, instead of Joan and I then having to drive from wherever we met up to wherever our GOSA meeting was, then we just changed our Zoom.
You're right.
Yes.
We can do one right
Usually
after
we have
the
a
other.
GOSA meeting, as we do today, in another 15 minutes.
yeah,
Zoom.
well, hopefully in the not too distant future, we'll be all able to see each other face to face.
Yes, well, it's very,
Would be
but
nice.
it's wonderful seeing everyone
Yes,
in Zoom.
yes,
And
All right.
also out on the trail, working,
yes.
clearing, catching poison ivy.
Right. Mark, I have one question.
Sure.
Have you heard about your community connectivity grant at all, or do you know when you will hear about that?
I have not heard, and I'm not sure. It's on my list to check the state website to see if they've maybe already posted who was
Okay.
awarded, and I haven't done that yet, but it is on my list. I
Well-
know a previous round, they had 80 applications, and they awarded 40 grants. So if they had a similar number this time, I'm sure it takes a while for them to get through all of those and kind of prioritize and make
All right.
decisions on how much money is going to each particular project.
Well,
But
good
if
luck
I-
with that.
Thanks. And if I do hear something, positive or negative, I will let everybody know. But fingers crossed, it's a positive response.
Absolutely.
I have one question. Maybe Bruce
Yeah.
can answer it before we go. When we get Sheep Farm South, we'll have two frontages, one on Fort Hill, which is just about 40 yards downhill from the middle school sidewalk, their little path. And then we have one that comes out on Flanders. And both are dangerous places for pedestrians to go across. What's the deal for seeking a crosswalk or something like that? That would be a state thing or
Flanders is a town road, I believe.
okay, Flanders is town. Okay, but that's not the dangerous one. It's Route 1.
Yeah,
It's
that's
right at
state
the
then.
corner. And also, since this the middle school is so close to our entrance on Fort Hill, that could be a very good place for cross country for the kids to go, or also for people doing a loop. If they hike up from the crosstown trail up and around, they can make a loop, come in up, say in the Flanders entrance and come out on the Route 1 and then hook up back to Haley Farm and all through there. So I just want to plant the seed that this may be the time or when something comes up, when there's improvements or something that we maybe could get a crosswalk, and it'd be perfect, wonderful to get a push button one, but if not that elaborate, at least a crosswalk at those areas. So I just ask that you think about it.
Okay. Well, yeah, it'd be good to coordinate all those trails onto the school site and off the school site. So yeah, we can start thinking about that.
Yeah. Okay, that'd be great.
All right. Anything else? If not, then happy holidays to everybody. And don't forget to feed your information to Brae about the trail history and whatnot. And we will see everybody on March 18th.
Okay.
Good
All
to
right.
see you.
Mark.
You too. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Happy holidays.
Thanks.
Move to adjourn the
Yes.
Second.
Bye.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Thank you.